Hello everyone. Now we will discuss about the important aspects and topics regarding the final examination in the intermediate first year botany. In the intermediate first year botany, in the very short questions, all we have to attempt particularly 10 questions they are giving. Out of 10 we have to write 10. In the very short, maximum we have to concentrate on the repeated questions in the previous examinations. 7 units whatever we had in the botany. Out of the 7 units, the first unit living world whatever we had from the living world, from every lesson we'll get one very short. That is, from the living world we'll get one very short particularly. From the living world, the most of the repeated questions will be particularly ICBN, flora and fauna, then systematics, couplet and lead, like that. These are the repeated questions from the first lesson, that is the living world. From biological classification, whatever we had, algal blooms, red tides, like that, these are the repeated questions from the biological classification. Like that, same from the science of botany and the plant kingdom, maximum in the final examination, whatever the repeated questions we had in the previous examinations, that will be repeated. If you are going for the second unit, morphology, from the morphology second unit, we are getting two very short answers, compulsory. The two very short answers, whatever we are getting, like venation, pulvinous leaf base, different types of the fruits, schizocarpic fruits, fleshy fruits, like that, different questions, whatever the repeated questions we had in the previous examination, that there is a chance of getting in the examination from the morphology. If you are going for the sexual reproduction, maximum for the third unit, in the third unit maximum they will not ask the very short, but if there is a chance of asking the very short, we have to concentrate on the repeated particular very short. From the fourth unit, whatever we had, that is the plant systematics, that means taxonomy. From the taxonomy, technical description of the Solanaceae, or else omega taxonomy, like that, actinomorphic, zygomorphic, we may get also in the second morphology. Like these questions they are concentrating. And if you are going for the cell, from the cell compulsory we are getting a very short answer. But in the cell lesson, in the biomolecules, cell cycle, cell division, whatever we had, particularly actually cell, the problem whatever we had, the problems, that means E. coli problems, about the polar mother cell problem, whatever we had, out of that problems compulsory we'll get one problem in the final examination. And in the anatomy and flowering plants also, we'll get one very short. And lastly, whatever we had, the ecology, from the ecology also we'll get one very short. From the ecology regarding the plant succession, xerarch succession, or else particularly heliophyte to sciophyte to, like these questions they are concentrating on the very short particularly, right? In the very short, maximum we have to concentrate on the repeated questions, and compulsory keep in mind that actually if you are losing the marks in the final examination, we are losing in the very short only. That's why we have to concentrate on the very short particularly and perfectly. Next, if you are moving for the short answers or else 4 marks answers, from the first lesson, that is the living world. From the living world, we have to concentrate on the taxonomical aids, herbarium, museum, botanical gardens, like this. Then binomial nomenclature. Then whatever the terms we had, couplet, lead, systematics and all these things, that we have to concentrate here. From the second lesson, biological classification. From this lesson, out of these 4 answers, compulsory we will get one answer. That is chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenites, and then role of fungi in our daily life. Out of these 4, compulsory we will get one question, biological classification. And then the science of botany, it is from the science of botany, scope of botany in terms of the agriculture, horticulture and medicine. And what are the importance of the physiology, that answer we have to see in the third lesson. And in the fourth lesson particularly, whatever the plant kingdom we had, from the plant kingdom, liverworts and mosses, or else life cycle of the pteridophytes, life cycle of the angiosperms and all these things you have to concentrate. Then compulsory from the first unit, maximum importance we should give for the red algae and brown algae, liverworts and mosses. They are the maximum asked questions from the first unit. And then chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenites, role of fungi in our daily life. That they are the very important questions. And from the second unit, whatever we had actually, morphology. From the morphology also, different types of the particular fleshy fruits, and then about the inflorescences, special inflorescences whatever we had, that we have to concentrate, and the If there are types of ovules like that, actually we have to concentrate in that particular second unit, that is the morphology. And from the third unit, that is taxonomy or as plant systematics, from the third units, particularly economic importance of the Fabaceae, then about the essential parts of the Solanaceae or Liliaceae if they are asking particularly, or else they will ask about the Bentham and Hooker classification for the 4 marks from the third unit particularly. And from the fourth unit, sexual reproduction, about the microsporogenesis, megasporogenesis, like that, whatever the questions we had particularly, that we have to concentrate on the particularly fourth unit, that is the sexual reproduction. From the fifth unit, cell, whatever we had actually, from the cell we had biomolecules, we had cell cycle, we had 3 things we had. From the cell, whatever we had actually, from the cell particularly, if you have to concentrate about the mitochondria, then about the nucleus, structure of nucleus or else nucleosome, like that, whatever the important questions we had particularly, we have to concentrate in the cell particularly. And in the biomolecules, particularly secondary structure of the nucleic acid, and then structure of proteins particularly, that whatever the questions we had, that we have to concentrate on the biomolecules. And in the cell cycle particularly, why interphase is known as resting phase, then prophase 1 of meiosis 1, that questions we have to concentrate in the cell compulsory, cell unit. Then in the particular anatomy and morphology of the flowering plants, that is the 6th unit particularly. In that unit, if you want to concentrate for the 4 marks, meristematic tissues, whatever we have, complex and simple tissues, differences between the stomata and lenticels, and dicot leaf, monocot leaf, periderm, that questions we have to concentrate particularly. Then lastly, if you are concentrating on the ecology, from the ecology compulsory we are getting the 4 marks answer. In the ecology, classification of hydrophytes, classification of xerophytes, then morphological and anatomical adaptations of the particularly hydrophytes and xerophytes we have to see. Compulsory, out of these 4 answers, compulsory will get 1 question from the ecology. If they are not asking from the hydrophytes and xerophytes, they will go for the succession, right? That's why the 4 marks answers are very expected questions, they will come in the examination. If you are concentrated on the repeated questions, we can write the 4 marks easily. Out of 8, we have to write 6. And from the long answers, that means 8 marks answers particularly. Long answers, the first we are concentrating, whatever we are concentrating actually, second unit, that is the morphology. From the morphology, stem modification, root modification, 2 are the main important questions particularly. Out of these 2, maximum we will get 1 question. If they are not asking the examination about the stem modification or root modification, they will go for the inflorescences, special inflorescences, rarely they will ask. But particularly we have to concentrate in the second unit on the stem modification, root modification. If they are not asking them, they will go for the inflorescences. That is the 19th question, it is completed. If you are going for the 20, maximum they will ask from the sexual reproduction. In the sexual reproduction particularly, fertilization in the angiosperms, structure of embryo sac, types of pollination, and then pollination agents. Out of these answers, compulsory 1 question we will get here. 21st question, whatever we had actually, that is from the anatomy and histology of the flowering plants particularly, that is dicot root, dicot stem, monocot stem, then dicot leaf, monocot leaf. Maximum we will get 1 question from these questions only. If they are not asking from the dicot, monocot, stem, root to leaf, they will go for the secondary growth. There is a maximum in the examination, compulsory, whatever the expected questions we had, that only they will give in the examination. But if there is a chance of any confuse, if there is a chance of any thing, actually we may confuse in the very short answers. That's why if you are covering like this, that means first if you are completing the 8 marks answers, then 4 marks answers, then 2 marks answers, then what will happen, it means from the 8 marks answers only you will cover the 4 marks. In the 4 marks and 8 marks you will cover the very short. Lastly, if you are revising the very short, actually it will be easier for you. Particularly you can cover the examination clearly. Write the examination perfectly, present the paper neatly without any strikings. Question number should be compulsory, and for the answers compulsory there should be a gap. Wherever the example is required, compulsory you have to write the examination. That means example you have to write, and wherever the diagram is required, compulsory you have to draw a diagram. Paper presentation should be very neat, and don't feel any tense. Write the examination confidently. We have to concentrate on the maximum repeated questions. From that only they will give in the examinations, right? All the best for your botany first year examination. Hoping for your success in the examination.